It took me years to have the courage to tell this. And even today, there are still things I avoid remembering. Back then, I thought the worst that could happen was working far from home, tired, in the middle of the woods. But on that third night, I understood that the danger did not come from exhaustion. It came from something that was already there before we arrived. And if I had stayed in that hammock that night, I would not be here telling this now. I was born and raised in the countryside, in a place surrounded by dense forest. The kind where the world seems to end right after the last barbed wire fence. The kind of place where night comes too fast, and when it comes, it takes over everything. Here, silence is not just the absence of sound, it has weight. Anyone who has lived in the countryside knows this. Knows that when the woods go to quiet, something is not right. Since I was little, my life had always been simple. Working the land, taking care of animals, helping my father and my uncles with whatever was needed. We had no luxury, but we did not miss it either. The days were hard, but honest, and the tiredness. That was the kind of thing that made us sleep deeply, without dreams, without worries. At least, that was how it was before that time. I was still young when a job opportunity came up in a neighboring town. A big construction project, something that was not common around there. They needed a laborer, and the pay was good. Too good for the reality we lived in. On top of gave lunch. To me, it seemed like the chance to save some money and help more at home. The problem was the distance. To get there, I had to leave home while it was still dawn, before the sun gave any sign of rising. The road was dirt, narrow, surrounded by tall brush on both sides. During the day, it was already exhausting. But at night, on the way back, it was another story. Anyone who has ever walked a dirt road in the middle of the woods knows. There are moments when you feel like you are not alone. It is not about seeing something, it is about feeling it. As if there was something following you, hidden among the trees, moving at the same pace, just waiting, and back then. I started feeling that often, but I ignored it. In the first few days, I made that trip every day. Going and coming back, facing the exhaustion, the darkness, and that strange silence on the road. But my body started demanding payment. I got home exhausted, slept badly, woke up feeling even worse. That was when I had the idea of sleeping at the construction site. It seemed like a simple solution. I would avoid the trip, rest better, and even be safer. At least that was what I thought at the time. Today I know. That was where I made the biggest mistake of this story. The construction site was right at the entrance of the town, but completely isolated. It was a large building, several stories high, but it was still only at the foundation stage. Around it, they had put up a makeshift wooden fence, more to prevent material theft than anything else. But, looking closely, that fence would not stop anything that truly wanted to get in. During the day, the place seemed normal. Hammering noise, people talking, machines running, everything is expected. But there was one thing I only realized later. Nobody liked staying there when the sun started going down. People always found a way to leave quickly. At the time, I thought it was just tiredness. But today I understand. It was not just that. When I decided I was going to sleep there, I went to talk to the engineer. I asked for permission, explained my situation. He allowed it, but with one simple condition, that I would not touch anything and would not take anything that was not mine. I agreed immediately. To me, that was more of an advantage than a problem. At the end of that day, when everyone left, I stayed. The silence started taking over the place in a way I was not used to. It was not the silence of the countryside. It was different. It was emptier, colder, I set up my hammock in a tree near the entrance gate, where the workers usually rested after lunch. I chose that spot because it seemed more open, more visible. Or at least, I thought it was. I went out to get a packed meal from a place nearby. When I came back, the sky was already getting dark, and the construction site was completely empty, except for one thing. The security guard. He was there, near my hammock, standing still. Looking at me, it was not a normal look. It was not curiosity, nor disapproval. It was a strange look, as if he were waiting for something to happen. That mo felt uneasy. I thought he was going to complain about me being there. I started explaining myself right away, saying I had permission, but he did not answer immediately. He just kept looking at me for a few seconds. And then he asked, with a calmness that did not match his stare, "Are you really going to sleep here?" I said yes. And that was when he said something I did not take seriously. He told me not to leave the hammock low. He told me to hang it higher or find a more protected place. That confused me. I asked why, and he answered. He said that, since the beginning of the construction, something had been showing up there at night. It was not a person. It was not a normal animal. It was too big, and worse. It left behind a smell he described as rotting flesh. A smell that stayed in the air, even after that thing went away. That moment I had two choices. Believe him, or ignore him. Because deep down, we always think those things will not happen to us. And it was exactly that thought. That almost cost me my life. It was a full moon night. The kind of night that deceives you. It does not get completely dark, but it does not bring any comfort either. The moonlight lit up the construction site, drawing crooked shadows on the dirt ground, on the pieces of wood, on the scattered metal bars. Everything seemed visible, but at the same time, strange. Anyone who has spent a night like that in the countryside knows, moonlight does not protect you. Sometimes, it only reveals what should not be there. I had talked to the security guard, like on the other days. He seemed quieter that night, more alert, as if he were waiting for something. Or worse, as if he already knew it was going to happen. Before I lay down, he said it again. Raise that hammock. He said it quietly, almost like a warning. But I ignored him. Again, if I had understood the tone of his voice, I would have done things differently. I lay down in the hammock, trying to relax. My body was tired, as always. The kind of exhaustion that makes you pass out fast. And that was what happened. I fell asleep, but it was not a peaceful sleep. It was a heavy, strange sleep. As if my body were resting, but my mind stayed alert, as if some part of me already knew about the danger. I do not know how much time passed, but I woke up suddenly. No noise, no clear reason, I just woke up. And that was when I noticed the first wrong thing, the silence. It was not normal silence. It was emptiness. No crickets, no wind in the leaves, no distant sound of animals, nothing. Anyone who lives in the countryside knows that is not normal when everything goes too quiet. Something made the rest fall silent. I stayed lying there for a few seconds, staring at nothing, trying to understand what was bothering me. That was when I felt the urge to urinate. I got up slowly, still half asleep. I looked around. The construction site looked the same, still, lit by the moon, empty, or at least, it seemed empty. I walked toward a ditch nearby. Every step sounded loud in that strange silence. The ground made a light sound under my feet, but even so, it seemed far too loud in that silence. Every step felt wrong, as if I were drawing attention without meaning to. It felt like I should not be there, but I went anyway. I stood there, relieving myself, trying to ignore that strange feeling. And then it happened. On the other side of the construction site, something jumped inside. It did not come walking. It did not come running. It made no sound of approaching. It simply appeared. One leap, high, heavy, but strangely silent. At that exact moment, my whole body froze. It was not a decision, it was instinct. My heart started pounding in a way I had never felt before. A cold chill ran up my back, as if someone had thrown ice water over me. And even from far away, I knew that was not normal. It was not a dog. It was not a cow. It was not anything I knew. It was too big, and the way it moved, it was wrong. Achi, that moment, without anyone explaining anything to me. I understood that it was that creature they had talked about, and maybe something worse. Without thinking too much, I backed away slowly. I did not run right away. The fear was so great that even movement felt dangerous, as if any gesture could draw its attention. I looked at my hammock, but I ruled it out immediately. If I went there, I would be exposed. That was when I saw the tree. I climbed it, fast, but trying not to make noise. I hid among the leaves, holding tightly to the branches, trying to control my breathing. My heart was beating so hard that I was sure, if that thing came close, it would hear it. That was when the noise started, wood-breaking metal being dragged. Things hitting the ground hard. That creature was destroying the construction site. But it was not behaving like a normal animal. It did not seem to be looking for food. It did not seem frightened. It seemed angry. As if it were there for some specific reason. And that was when an idea crossed my mind. What if it was not there by chance? I stayed there, motionless, trying to see better. Until then, I had only seen the silhouette. A large body, moving the wrong way. But then, it came out of the darkest part of the foundation and stepped into the moonlight. And that was when I truly saw it. My body went cold. That was not a normal animal. It was big, covered in fur. But the way it walked, it was not like an animal. It walked hunched over, sometimes almost upright, with strange, stiff movements, as if it were not used to its own body. Its head stayed low, as if it were always sniffing the ground. Its legs, far too big, disproportionate, its ears, even bigger. And the smell, even from where I was, the air felt heavy. A rotten, strong smell that seemed to go straight down my throat. Rotting flesh, old, like something dead for days. And that was when I became certain of something that still gives me chills today. That was not just an animal. That was something that should not exist. It kept walking around the construction site, slowly, smelling everything, watching, as if it were looking for something, or someone. And then it went toward my hammock. When that creature got close to my hammock, I felt my whole body lock up in a way that cannot be explained. It was not just fear. It was as if something inside me knew I would have no escape. And then it did it, without hesitation, without warning. It lunged at the hammock and tore it apart with absurd violence, as if it were attacking something alive. The sound of the fabric ripping in the middle of that silence was dry, brutal, final. In that instant, one single thought passed through my mind. That was supposed to be me there. My heart pounded even harder at that moment. I held the branch so tightly that my hands started to hurt, but I did not let go. I could not make any movement, any sound, because now I was sure that thing was not there by chance. After destroying the hammock, the creature kept walking around the construction site. It seemed restless, as if it were still looking for something it had not found. Or someone. It went over to the security guard's car, circled it, sniffed, stopped for a few seconds beside the door. Actually, that moment I thought it was going to attack, but it did not. It stayed there, motionless, and then it lifted its head and started sniffing the air, slowly, deeply, as if it were trying to find something invisible. In that instant, I stopped breathing. It was not a choice. My body simply froze. The fear was so intense that even breathing felt dangerous. I felt the air trapped in my chest, my heart beating out of rhythm, the cold sweat running down my face. If it caught my scent, there was no tree tall enough to save me. Time stopped. I cannot say how long I stayed like that. Seconds or minutes. But they felt like hours. It kept sniffing the air, turning slowly, as if it were trying to locate something. And for a moment, I was sure it knew I was there, knew exactly where I was, and was deciding what to do with me. It was the longest moment of my life, but then, for no apparent reason, it gave up. It lowered its head, turned its body, and started walking again, slowly, as if nothing had happened. It went to the wooden fence surrounding the construction site, stopped in front of it, and then did something I will never forget. It stood up. For a moment, almost like a person, and then it jumped. With absurd ease, it went over the fence and disappeared into the woods. And the silence returned. But it was not the same silence as before. It was different. It was heavy. It was the kind of silence that comes after something finds you, studies you, and decides to let you live. And that is much worse than being attacked. I did not come down from the tree. I did not have the courage. I stayed up there until the day started getting light. My body hurt, but I did not move. My mind kept repeating one thing: if I had stayed in the hammock, I would not be alive. When the sun started rising, I finally came down. My legs were weak. They could barely hold me up properly. Every step felt strange, as if my body still had not understood that the danger had passed, or that I thought it had passed. That was when I saw the security guard coming out from inside the car. He had spent the night there, hidden, watching. When he saw me, he did not look surprised. He just looked at me and shook his head as if he had already expected that. "I warned you." His voice was calm but heavy. He said he saw everything. Saw when I got up. Saw when I ran to the tree. And he saw the creature get close to me. He said he was ready to shoot if it attacked me. But he also said something that stayed burned into my mind. Good thing it did not come to you. Achi, that moment I did not even think about the gun. To me, nothing there seemed enough to stop that thing. And then came the worst part. Standing there, still trembling, he told me everything. He said he had never told anyone at the construction site about it, and he explained why. He said that creature appeared almost every night, always destroying things, always leaving afterward, never attacking directly, and because of that, he suspected something. Something that, until that moment, I had not considered. That it could be someone who worked there, someone who, somehow, turned into that thing. Achi, that moment a different kind of cold ran through me. It was no longer fear of the creature. It was worse. It was fear of people. Because if that were true, then the danger was not only in the night, it was beside me during the day. He asked me not to tell anyone. Said that if it really was someone from there, that person might become suspicious and might come after whoever knew. I agreed, and I kept my word. I never told any of my family, friends. After that night, I never slept at the construction site again. Never again. I preferred facing the dark road every day than spending one more night waiting for that thing to come back. The construction went on for months. And from time to time, the security guard would still tell me that the creature showed up, fast, violent, always at night, always disappearing into the woods. But it never came close to me again. And to this day, when the night gets to silent, when the wind stops and the animals disappear, I remember. And I am sure of one thing, that was not someone who worked at the construction site that came from the woods. And maybe it is still there, waiting. Good night.